NFL Week 12 is in the books, and everybody's asking the same question. Who is going to be this year's NFL MVP? Now, I've got 5 players here that I believe are perfect candidates. At the end of the video, I'm going to give you who I think should be the MVP and also 2 significant impact players that could make a run for MVP this year. And they're young and they're rookies, and man, oh man, do they have some upside. So I'm excited to dive into this video. I want to make this ultra interactive though. So if you are new to the channel, smash it, tap it, slap it. And in the comments below, drop your MVP. Who is worthy of the precious MVP title? Now, this is going to be honored on February 8th at the NFL Honors, just before the Super Bowl. So we got some time here. These guys have some time to build themselves up, but drop it below. Who do you think deserves to be the MVP for NFL 2024-2025 season? Let me know, guys, right here, right now. Well, pretty much 2024 season, not 2025, but it rolls into 2025. You guys get the picture, okay? So make it interactive. Drop your MVP below. If you're new to the channel, smash, tap, and slap it, and let's get right to it. Now, at the end, I'm going to give you guys who I think should be the MVP. So it's very, very important because I did a lot of research on this. All I do is live and breathe this football stuff, okay? Fantasy and reality. Now, these guys are absolutely having amazing years, and we want to honor them. So that's why I did this video here today, taking a little bit of a break from fantasy a little bit. And I'm going to keep with the NFL and sports news content as well, not just fantasy here. So if you are just interested in trending news and stuff like that, make sure you guys are subscribed, okay? So let's dive into this here. First guy that I think should absolutely be MVP, and I'll tell you why, is Lamar Jackson. Currently has a 67% passer completion percentage, 7-4 record. Now, he is playing today. I'm excluding Week 12 game because he is playing tonight. But number 1 player in fantasy, we got 117.3 passer rating. Number 1 in fantasy, 273 points. Number 3 in rushing attempts with 584. This guy has more rushing attempts than Devin Achane, Kenneth Walker, Javonte Williams, and Rachaad White, just to name a few here, okay? He's looking good. He's looking solid. He looks like the real deal, and I like him. I think his work ethic is literally second to none. He's in a great team, in a team that really wants to win the Super Bowl. They don't just bring the king, Derrick Henry, in to play. Derrick Henry came onto this team knowing that he wanted to win. By the way, I'm not mentioning Derrick Henry here as a candidate here for MVP, but man, oh man, that guy is good as well. At the age that he's 30 plus, performing on a top level as Derrick Henry. So Derrick Henry came onto this team because they want to be contenders. They want to win the Super Bowl. Derrick Henry doesn't have that many good years left in him. He wants to win it. Lamar Jackson wants to win it this year. Man, oh man, I think he's definitely a top candidate. Let me know what you guys think. Lamar Jackson, should he be the MVP? If this continues, this winning record, amazing talent, he gets it done in passing, gets it done in rushing, doing it all over the place, Lamar Jackson, okay? Second guy, all right? Very, very high candidate here for MVP. His passer rating is slightly lower than Lamar Jackson. Now, I factor in passer rating when I'm looking at this, but it's somewhat subjective, right? You get quarterbacks that come in for 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and have like a perfect game. They come up for like 3 passes, they're 3 for 3, and they've got like a perfect passer rating. Like, that's not realistic. We're talking guys that are like, that have higher pass ratings, that are season-long players, okay? Not guys that come out for 1 drive and then have 2 passing touchdowns and they're on the bench, and they get a high pass rating. That doesn't matter. But I think pass rating does play a huge factor overall because it factors in all the variables, or most of them anyway. But Jared Goff is the next guy here. 10-1 record. 72% completion rate, which is a little higher compared to the 67 of Lamar. His pass rating is a little bit lower, 109.9. Number 12 in fantasy points. But the key thing you want to factor here is that he is winning, okay? When you are looking at the guys that are MVPs, you can have an amazing statistical record in fantasy and reality, but if your team is losing, now, they kind of correlate, right? They kind of run in parallel. So if you are having a good statistical year, it usually translates to wins anyway. The team is great. They have a great offense this year. He's doing well. Definitely a big time consideration, okay? Number 3 here is Josh Allen, all right? By the way, Jared Goff going back, 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Lamar Jackson, 25 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Not bad at all, okay? Josh Allen, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 98.3 passer rating, including 5 rushing touchdowns. 9-2 record. Again, we got the winning record. We got a decent passer rating. We got a good touchdown to interception ratio. All things that I consider when I'm looking at a guy for MVP. Now, I thought he would have done better with Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman now banged up a little bit. You could say that his receivers, he doesn't have a true one. You could also say that for, Lamar Jackson, he's kind of dealing with, I would say, like, Zay Flowers is good in some of these receivers, but a true one. They don't have a Jamar Chase. They don't have an Amon-Ra. I mean, Jared Goff does, but Josh Allen doesn't, right? So you got to factor in that they are lacking in certain areas, right? But they're still doing well. They're still winning. And that's another thing that they get bonus points for me for. The fact that they're still winning and they don't have the true one. Now, Keon could have been the one. He just never got the volume, unfortunately. But Josh Allen, again, winning, getting it done on the ground. These guys make up where they don't make up in the passing, they make up in the rushing, and that's what Josh Allen does. 5 rushing touchdowns for Josh Allen, 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Not a bad ratio as we're 12 weeks in here. He's in a bye week this week, and he's going to come out hopefully refreshed and ready to go here, okay? But I'm telling you, man, like, the rushing yards make up so much for fantasy and reality, just make the player so much better and help the team win a lot more, okay? So Josh Allen, all right? The next one's going to be a little controversial here because I wouldn't consider this an MVP year, but Pat Mahomes, okay, hear me out here. 93.2 passer rating. That is lower than everybody else. 18-11 touchdown interception ratio. He's not doing that well in fantasy, in reality, but he's winning. He's 10-1. And he's just efficient. The guy gets it done. The guy pulls out wins. You cannot deny the fact that no matter what, under pressure, this guy always delivers, okay? You see the scramble, he's getting a pass rush, and you think that he's tackled, but no, he comes out, pulls it out of his throws it downfield, and converts a first down, or a touchdown. Amazing. So you cannot deny the fact that Pat Mahomes looking for a three-peat. Now you can say the refs are helping him, very possible, right? We saw this one clip I posted on Instagram recently where, I don't know if maybe he was out of context, but he was telling the ref, you got to tell him he's going to block me or something. He's talking to the ref, basically telling the ref to warn him about things. I'm like, dude, come on, man. And then you find a lot of plays go their way as well. The Chiefs, and the narrative with Swift and Kelsey and a possible three-peat. I don't know, man. But either way, you cannot deny that Pat Mahomes is great and he's winning, and that's the bottom line. And if you look at all these variables, we look at passer ratings, touchdown interception ratio, rushing yards, all these other variables, I would say the record trumps everything. I would say having a good record and winning should beat everything, right? Because you're winning. That's the ultimate goal in reality football. As much as I like stats for fantasy, the reality is win, and win a Super Bowl and championships. And Pat Mahomes has to be considered here, regardless of his statistical decline over the past couple of years, okay? Number 5 here, and at the end, I'll tell you out of all these guys who I like, but number 5 here is Saquon Barkley. Let's talk about Saquon. Amazing talent. I got him on all my fantasy teams except for one, but because I was drafting, I don't know if you guys know this, but I was drafting from 8th to 12th. Typically in all my leagues, that's just where the drafting happened for me this year. And I was getting him in all my leagues, and I was stacking him with Derrick Henry. Some people don't believe me that I have Saquon Henry. I just posted it on my story mode. Check it out on my Instagram, Fantasy Football Counselor. But listen to this, guys. 26 attempts, 255 yards on the ground last game, 9.8 yards per carry, 302 total scrimmage yards. Absolutely amazing. 2 rushing attempts over 70-yard, 2 70-yard runs plus. Amazing, okay? On the season, though, 1,392 yards on the ground, 6.2 yards per carry, which is high, 10 touchdowns, 2 receiving, and on 223 attempts, he only had 1 fumble lost out of 223 attempts. Listen, this shows how good he really is and how bad the Giants really were. Amazing, absolutely amazing talent here. Saquon Barkley. I mean, the biggest kind of knock to him is that he's a running back, and running backs just don't get as much juice and as much love as a quarterback does. But man, oh man, how do you deny the amazing talent that is Saquon Barkley? I would definitely consider him as an MVP this year. Explosive. What I love about him is that he's absolutely explosive. And this is my dream running back. I look for these explosive plays, and I want it out of so many running backs, and I just don't get it. He's got that ability, that unique ability. Him and Jahmyr Gibbs are like the 2 running backs that have this ability above everybody in this league. You can make an argument for Breece Hall and some other guys, Derrick Henry once he gets going. But man, oh man, Saquon and Gibbs are like the 2 best running backs in the NFL. But Saquon, absolutely amazing. And Gibbs would easily be in this conversation if Montgomery wasn't there, because Montgomery's just taking chewing into half of that volume. Jahmyr Gibbs would be doing the best without Montgomery there. I tell you that honest truth, okay? So I'm going to give you 2 honorable mentions as well here, and then I'll give you guys my MVP favorite here for this year, who I think should win it, okay? The 2 honorable mentions are Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels. Now, Jaden Daniels had a bad game versus Dallas yesterday. Terrible game. I don't think he even threw for a touchdown. But on the season, both 7-5 teams, and taking teams that just were mediocre prior to this, both not having they're rookies, right? And both not having true wide receiver ones. Cortland Sutton kind of sucks. McLaurin kind of sucks. They're like just on par. They're not amazing, sensational wide receivers. So I look at Bo Nix, I look at Jaden Daniels, and I'm like, man, oh man, these guys are really good talent, bright futures ahead. And when I look at them, I don't know about maybe rookie of the year conversation, but not MVP, because as good as they are, they're just not superseding some of these other guys. But maybe this final stretch here, they could really make a case and really up their value for MVP conversation, but definitely rookie of the year conversation. I'm leaning Bo Nix right now. The way that it's going just looks a little bit better. 16 touchdowns, 16 interceptions for Nix, 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions for Daniels. Daniels getting it done a little bit more on the rushing, but still, man, Nix is still getting it done rushing as well, okay? 4 rushing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns, I believe, for Daniels, both getting it done, okay? So the verdict, who is the MVP? We got some good candidates here, man. Again, it leans towards these quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, you cannot deny any one of these guys is good. I guess the weakest link is Pat Mahomes based on statistical data here, but I would definitely go, my verdict here, let me know what you guys think below, is Saquon Barkley. Just amazing, absolutely crushing. A guy that was suppressed on a team that just sucked. The Giants, he had his share of injuries. Now he's running free, and I'm just so happy for the guy for fantasy. And the fact he's on my fantasy team is just bonus, but so happy for the guy. So I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley as the MVP for 2024. And I hope he just continues on this reign. Just absolutely amazing stuff and exciting to watch. Everybody wants to watch explosive runs for 70 yards and a touchdown. Just amazing stuff to watch. Exciting. Running back is my favorite position to watch and for fantasy, okay? So Saquon Barkley is my verdict. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it below. MVP fantasy actually for fantasy football is an MVP as well. But for reality, who is your MVP for NFL 2024? I'd love to get your feedback. Drop it below. If you're new to the channel, smash, tap, and slap it, and hit that thumbs up. I'm out.